Welcome to this GiftWorks video. My name is Steve Faithful. This is the fifth of an 8-part video series talking about how easy it is to import information into GiftWorks. And in this video, we're going to be talking about mapping your fields to GiftWorks fields as part of the import process. To do that, we're going to get started by signing into this GiftWorks database. I'm going to go to the settings area, go to database and maintenance, import and export, import a file, and I'm going to choose an Excel file to import. I'm going to click the next button. Click the next button. Once I've verified my data, I'm going to leave the default options, and it's going to bring us to this mapping screen or this assignment screen. It's a screen in which we take the fields that you're providing to us in your Excel file or your Access database or your text file, and you choose where it's going to go in GiftWorks. This screen at first glance can be a little overwhelming, so why don't I break it down into 3 easy parts. The first part is on the left-hand side under the column Your Import Fields. You'll see a list of fields that are contained in your Excel file, or your text file, or your Access database. In the middle, you'll see a sampling of the data that's contained within your source file. And I can use these arrows at the bottom to navigate through the actual data that's contained in there. Sometimes seeing the actual data is a little bit more helpful than just seeing the column name. It gives you a real-life sample of what kind of data you're talking about. And then this last column is the GiftWorks Fields column, in which you, by clicking on a link, you'll see a list of categories. And then within each of those categories, there's a list of fields that you can map. I'm going to move the video over a little bit so you can see it. And so if I click on each of these links, you're going to see a category. And then under the category, so under donor name, you're going to see a list of fields that pertain to the donor name. The donor's direct name, their first, middle, last, suffixes, prefixes, salutation and addresses, etc. And then also at the bottom, you might not be able to see that real well, the spouse information as well. Under donor details, we'll see things like when they were created, the donor create date, their website, contact type assigned to, donor source, donor category statuses, a bit of their professional information, etc. Under donor address 1 and donor address 2, you'll see fields that all relate to their donor addresses. Some people think that because we show you donor address 1 and 2, it means that donors can only have 2 addresses. That's actually not true. You can have as many addresses in GiftWorks as you want for each donor, but during the import process, we allow you to import up to 2 addresses at a time. So just keep that in mind. Under a donor address, you see a bit of information about the address, including things like delivery point code, country, etc. Under phone and email, you'll see information all about the phones and emails. We provide predefined names of phones, things like home, mobile, business, etc. But remember, once again, with phones and emails, you're able to enter in as many as you like, and you can even alter the name of the label of the phone number. So, for instance, if you don't want this to be called home phone, you can provide an alternate name for it by providing the name of the phone and then the actual phone number. So keep that in mind as you choose your fields to import. Under donor notes, you're able to import a note per donor. So if you want to provide a note, a title, and then text for the note, that will import and be part of the donor's notation history. And then we come down to donations, where we see right now, we'll see up to 15. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video. Let me drop it down a little bit. You'll see under donations, you'll see up to 15 donations at a time. Keep that in mind. It's not 15 total donations. It's 15 per donor at a time. So you could, on subsequent imports, you could import up to 15 more for the same donor. So you can continue to import as many donations as you like, but up to 15 at one time. And under donation, there's plenty of fields regarding donations. Things like the date and the campaign, fund, receipted information, acknowledgement, payment information, etc. So there's a lot of fields. While I'm here pointing out a number of fields, let me also point out another area that you can begin to look at, and that is under let me scroll up a little bit, under the Help menu. If you click on Help, you'll see up at the top there's a Print the GiftWorks Import Guide link. And then on each screen as you're going through the import, you can also find information that's appropriate for what you're trying to do as part of the import process. So right now this help will provide information about mapping or assigning your fields to GiftWorks fields. That GiftWorks Import Guide that I referred to contains helpful information like a listing of the fields that you're able to import into GiftWorks, and also some explanations on what are some best practices. So for each of these fields in my Excel file, I'm going to want to go ahead and map them to a field within GiftWorks. I'm going to go ahead and begin to do this, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to just make a mention that One of the most important parts, certainly, of this process is making sure that you put the right information in the right place. And that's certainly going to require you to take some time, not only to get to know your information, but also to get to know the information that's available to be imported into GiftWorks. And that might take some time to go ahead and actually look at all the fields that are available in GiftWorks, maybe work with donors a bit or work with donations a bit to try to see what kind of information you're able to import. So that as I'm coming through here now and I'm simply and quickly choosing fields that I want to import, it's because I know where I want it to go, and it may take some time for you to get to that point. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down to donations now. I'm going to begin to map the donation fields. Let me move the video a little bit so you can see me mapping them. Donation 1, choose date, and donation 2, donation 1, again amount. And then I'm going to go move on to my second donation, which is donation, I'll just choose donation 2 date, and then donation 2 amount. I'm going to come down to some other group information. On a subsequent video, I'm going to be breaking down some of this mapping a little bit more. I'm going to be going through things like I have some group information here. I have a custom field. I have a whole name that I'll need to break apart, and on a subsequent video I'm going to be doing that. But for now, I'm just going to ignore these fields. I can choose this Do Not Import option, which will simply ignore these columns. I don't have to import them. If I had a whole series of fields that I didn't want to import, I could simply click this Ignore Remaining Fields button here at the bottom. I'm going to move my video back up, and I'm going to come down. I am going to map my email address that you'll notice at the bottom under donation phone email. I'm just going to choose email address 1. And so now I've mapped these fields. Now I've taken some time to do this, and if you've taken some time to do it as well, you may be doing it as part of a test. Maybe you're just testing your import to see if it's going to work. Maybe you're just trying to see if you can get some data come into GiftWorks. And you may want to repeat this process. Maybe you're going to go through it a couple times, just do a quick sampling of data. Maybe you want to set something up to do this on an ongoing basis so that every week you can import sort of the same data. Well, one of the things that we've provided help to you to do that is this Save Import button at the bottom. This Save Import button at the bottom will simply allow me to take all the mappings that I've done here, all this assignments of fields that I've done here, and I can save them to a file. It also saves some of the other options that I've chosen as part of the import process. So if I click the Save button, it's going to bring up a save screen where I can provide a file name, and I'm just going to call it Tour Video Import, and it's going to save it as what's called a GiftWorks Import Configuration File, or a .gic file. And so once I save that, Tour Video Import, it tells me that my import configuration has been saved. And now at a later time, I can come back in just a moment. I'll show you how to do that. So you'll see that I've mapped all my fields. I've taken the fields that exist in my Excel file and mapped them to a place that they need to go in GiftWorks. You can click the Ignore Remaining Fields button to ignore a number of fields. If I wanted to reset all these fields, I could go ahead and click the Reset button, and then I can save my import using the Save Import Configuration button. Now I am going to cancel out of this import, and I'm going to begin the process again, and it brings me back to my Import and Export Records screen. And I'm going to click on the Import a File link, and instead of choosing my source file again and going through the same process, I want to show you how I can use that GiftWorks import configuration file that I saved a moment ago. If I click here on this link, it says if you want to use a previously saved GiftWorks import configuration file, I can click here, which I'm going to go ahead and do. And it just wants me to load this tour video import.gic file. Once I click open, it loads that. I click on the next button, and you'll see that as I come back to my mappings, all my mappings have been restored, and I'm ready to continue. So you'll see how fairly easy it is to take your import fields and map them to where they need to go in GiftWorks, how you can save your import to save progress or to save it so you can repeat this process. In a subsequent video, I will be talking about more functions, more features that are available to map within GiftWorks, some special things like groups, custom fields, talk about payment types, and some other things, and we'll talk about some other features within the screen, specifically this copy link and this modified import fields button. So I hope that this overview of the mapping or field assignment has been helpful. Trust that it's going to help you have a successful import. So thank you for watching this video, and thank you.